History and Government Paper 2. Marking Scheme 2012. Identify one type of artifact that is likely to be found in archaeological site. 1 mark. Foods. Weapons. Poetry. Ornaments. Garments. Coins. Name one source of information on the creation theory. 1 mark. The Bible. The Quran. Any 1x1 equals marks. State 2 ways in which the Sumerians in Mesopotamia reclaimed land for agriculture. 2 marks. They built bank dikes along rivers to stop flooding. They dug ditches to drain water from swamps. They used canals to irrigate the land. They used the shadoof to draw water to irrigate the land. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Give the main form of transport that was used in the trans-Saharan trade. 1 mark. Animal transport. Camel's horse. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. Name 2 groups of people that were involved in the transatlantic trade. 2 marks. The Europeans. The Africans. The Americans. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. State 2 negative effects of the development of motor vehicle transport. 2 marks. It causes traffic jams, especially in urban areas. It contributes to environmental pollution. It damages roads. It causes accidents leading to loss of liver injuries. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Give 2 inventions that revolutionized the textile industry in Britain during the 18th century. 2 marks. The Flying Shuttle by John Kay. The Spinning Jenny by James Hargreaves. The Water Frame by Richard Arkwright. The Spinning Mule, Samuel Crompton. The Power Loom, by Edmund Cartwright. The Cotton Gin, by Eli Whitney. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Identify the main factor that contributed to the growth of Athens in ancient Greece. 1 mark. Trade. Commercial activities. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. State 2 European activities in Africa before 1850. 2 marks. They were involved in trade. They were spreading Christianity. They were involved in exploration. They were involved in spreading education. Any 2x1 equals marks. State 1 way in which African collaboration with Europeans hastened colonization in Africa. 1 mark. It encouraged Europeans to settle on African land. Loss of African land. It created disunity among Africans. It assisted the Europeans in conquering other communities. It enabled the Europeans to establish their contre-entrench themselves. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. Give the main reason why the European powers held Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. To discuss how to partition divide Africa among themselves. 1 mark. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. State 1 way in which the rise of dictators in Europe contributed to the outbreak of the Second World War. 1 mark. They overthrew democratic governments. They rearmed themselves. They engaged in acts of aggression, attacked other countries. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. Give 2 economic benefits enjoyed by the members of the Commonwealth. 2 marks. Favorable trading opportunities to members. Financial assistance given to the poor nations. Technical research assistance to member countries. Support for youth programs, projects for development. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Give the main reason why the Pan-African movement was formed at the beginning of the 20th century. 1 mark. To unite peoples of African descent. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. Name 1 financial institution established by the African Union. 1 mark. The African Monetary Fund. The African Central Bank. The African Investment Bank. Any 1x1 equals 1 marks. Identify 2 factors which have undermined the exploitation of mineral resources in the Democratic Republic of Congo since independence. 2 marks. Civil war in the country. Shortage of labor due to displacement of people. Smuggling of minerals. Political interference by neighboring states. Poor transport network. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Identify 2 ways in which infrastructure has slowed down economic development in Tanzania since independence. 2 marks. It has made transportation of goods services difficulties. It has hindered exploitation of some resources. It has slowed down the movement of labor. It has increased the cost of transport. Any 2x1 equals 2 marks. Section B, 45 marks. A. State 3 disadvantages of hunting as an economic activity of the early man. 3 marks. It is difficult to spot the animals. Animals are a threat dangerous to humans. It requires many people. Hunting is time-consuming. It is tiresome, cumbersome. Animals run faster than man. Any 3x1 equals 3 marks. B. Explain 6 benefits of settling in villages during the late Stone Age period. 6 marks. There was security as people could protect themselves against enemies. Living as a large group enabled people to work together, hence accomplishing tasks with ease work. Setting in villages assured man of permanent dwelling, thereby reducing movement. Man began growing crops, thereby ensuring regular food supply. Man domesticated animals, which provided animal products, thereby reducing hunting activities. Living in villages promoted interactions, thereby increasing social cohesion, sharing of ideas, resources. People were able to exchange good services, hence getting what they did not have. It enabled them to build better shelter, thereby protecting themselves from harsh weather conditions. Any 6x2 equals marks. A. Give 3 uses of wind as a source of energy in ancient times. 3 marks. To winnow grains. To drive turn windmills. To propel boat-sailing ships. To drive water pumps. To dry grains. Any 3x1 equals 3 marks. B. Explain 6 effects of iron working technology on African communities before the 19th century. 6 marks. The use of iron tools made cultivation of the land easier, faster, as they were efficient. Iron tools were used to clear forests